is the Disrespectful Lady. I'm your host, Dr. J. Why go on? It's a beautiful day and we're doing more talk. More serious talk, more lighthearted talk. We're just talking, we're sharing, and you know what? Thank you for being here today with me. This is the Disrespectful Lady. What go on? What really are going on today? Let's talk about what really are going on. Let me recap last week's story and talk a little more about what's going on this week. Okay, so this week we're going to recap on Colin Kaepernick and what's happening in football 2016. We're talking about white privilege. Thank you for joining us. This is the Disrespectful Lady. I'm your host, Dr. J. Last week we spoke a little bit about Colin Kaepernick and his stance against the injustice that's occurring, being mistreated in America. He kneels down to the anthem, and one of his fellow teammates has also joined him, Brandon Marshall, in support of this fight against white privilege and institutionalized racism. I am really grateful for these brothers for taking a stand. White privilege is serious, and we live in a white privilege world. We live in a world that is designed for the white man. It is not a world that is here to foster and to make black young boys or women, girls, feel good about themselves. So this is really important to bring light to this issue. Black people are mistreated in this country all the time. And unless we stand up and do something about it, the treatment is going to continue. So hooray to Colin Kaepernick and his teammate Brandon Marshall. What was really unfortunate though is that since Brandon took a stance, Brandon lost 2 endorsements. And I find that to be crazy. But this is America, free will. They say that since he's able to take his stance and his views, so are they. And 2 of his endorsements have dropped him. But I am happy to also say that one of our fellow brothers, Russell Simmons, Rush Card, came into play, says, listen, I'm here. He lost 2 endorsements. I'm willing to be one of his endorsers. And he's asking who else is willing to come on board to support Brandon Marshall, to support the cause. So please, if anybody's out there that's looking for a positive brother as a role model, endorse Brandon Marshall. He lost 2 endorsements for us, and it's crazy because the brother's just trying to prove a point, stand up for his rights, and look at what they do to another brother. If it was the opposite, a white man that did this, nothing would happen to his endorsement. But look at what they do to a brother. This is the case in point. White privilege. We live in a white privilege world that is designed for the white man. And Brandon Marshall, congratulations for taking a stance. He says he doesn't regret it. He wouldn't change a thing about it. If they want to drop him, they could drop him. But you know what? He's saying what he needs to say. He's owning it. He's taking a stance, and he's trying to change the world. And this is what we all trying to do. Make this world a little bit better for the generation that's coming up. The Disrespectful Lady. Mwah. White privilege world, we coming for y'all. This is what's really going on. In 2016, we got something to say, and we gonna say it. About this whole situation is that even the 49ers are now trying to find ways to work with these 2 players and all these players to help them with the cause and trying to help them to show the injustice that black people are enduring in this country. They're now joining each other in solidarity and unity. They're holding each other arm in arm during the anthem to show their support for the cause. So I think these endorsers can find ways to work with these players as well. It's a free country. We all have the right to say what we need to say, but this is a serious topic and it needs to be recognized. So again, congratulations to Colin Kaepernick and Brandon Marshall. Thank you for standing up for us. We need this, okay? This brings me to a point about this generation and the lost generation, as I like to call y'all. This is the most powerful generation that is out here now. This is y'all time, yo. This is y'all moment to do something and to make something. Change the world. This generation, I find y'all to be lost in so many ways. Like, y'all are just lost, just spaced out. Y'all got your earphones in. Y'all don't hear what's going on around y'all. Y'all are always looking down at that phone, always looking down. When I see y'all crossing the streets, when I see you even talking to another person, rather than acknowledge that person that is sitting next to you having a conversation with you, you choose to look down at the phone. one of the things I dislike more than anything is having a conversation with somebody and they decide to stop, and they don't even stop. They're just in the middle of my conversation. They're on their phone checking their social media. I understand, we all want to see what's going on. This is the age of technology, but it shouldn't take over life, and people are more important. Someone is sitting next to you having a conversation with you. Pay them attention. I actually know someone that is able to look at me, and there they go. They're just texting away while they're having a conversation with me. You can see their fingers moving. I know you're not paying me attention because you're thinking about what to text the person. You're thinking about what you want to say to that person. So you're really just looking at me for eye contact. But when we're having a conversation, it's a dialogue between two people. This generation is lost, and I feel really sorry for y'all. I love conversation. I love conversations about anything. I could talk about everything all day, all night. I love conversation. And this generation has somehow lost, and they're lost in translation. They're lost in conversation. They're just lost. And you know what? You guys can make the biggest difference. You guys have the ability to change this world. This generation that is lost, has it. Please find a way, one person at a time. Appreciate that you're here tuning in to the Disrespectful Lady. Listen, share this message with everyone you know. Subscribe to my page. Share it with your friend. Let's change the world together. Let's change this generation together. Let's show this world that yes, it is a white privileged world, and yet and still we have men, black men, that are doing amazing things. Big ups to Usher, who just got a star on the Walk of Fame. That was beautiful. That's a legend that needed to be recognized. Usher has been in the game since he was a little kid, and look at what he's done, and look at how he's thriving and just doing it in this business. Two young boys, and Usher's doing it. Congratulations to Usher and his star on the Walk of Fame. You are a true star, Usher. We love you. Another black man, but this world is designed for a white man, and it takes forever for a black man to even make his mark on it. But we need to celebrate all of this so that young brothers and sisters could see themselves growing up, and we can read about ourselves growing up, not just reading about the white man that discovered this world, and not just seeing it's a white privileged world, and that's the reality. What we see on television, what we read about in books, our magazine, our newspapers, our day-to-day, everything is here to support a white man's world. And you know what? They should give us a little slack when we get upset. We have every right to be upset because we're raised in a world that is not designed to make us feel good. We don't see ourselves in the paper. We don't see ourselves on TV. We don't read about ourselves. And you know what? It affects us growing up. A little white boy growing up feels good because he feels empowered, because all he reads about is all these successful white men that have made this world. Whereas how does a young black man supposed to feel growing up in this world? We live in an unjust world. You know what? I have to say something. There was a post on social media that was amazing that I want to share with you. The white woman went to the car to let the black woman know that she was over there if she needed anything. The police officer asked the white woman, "Why are you waiting?" She said, "Well, because, sir, you have a black young woman pulled over in a parking lot with no cameras around." Let me tell you something. That story really touched me. And that white woman was like, "I'm not going to leave her." You know why? He said, "Because I've seen too many things happen to too many black people, and it is unjust." This white woman, Valerie Lewis, she gets a big up for me, hands up. She owned it. She saw a situation. She stepped into it, because it is true. Black people are treated unfairly in this country. But you know what was beautiful? She did something about it. She stood aside to make sure that nothing happened to this black woman. And you know what? Thank you. Because if everyone opened their mind to the truth that this world is unfair to black people, we can move on and do something better. We're not fighting we want to stay right here and just be treated a little bit better, treated fairly, and that's all. But you know what? I say that thank you to all the white people that are making efforts to try and understand our cause and that are helping us to do something about it. It's the Disrespectful Lady. This is the Disrespectful Lady. I'm your host, Dr. J. Wagwan. What really Wagwan? You know, Wagwan is that Allen Iverson was a Hall of Famer, and he got inducted into the Hall of Fame this week. And you know what? I loved his speech. He gave a beautiful speech, a very emotional speech. Towards the end of the speech, he gave big ups to his wife, his ex-wife, whom they have 4 kids with, and you know, they were college sweethearts and they've been through a lot, and it was just a beautiful black love story to see that 2 decades raising 4 kids together, up and down, you know, they still made it. They're divorced but still a family. What I loved is that he said to her in the end, you know, you've been through all of this with me, and when you see this, I want you to remember that you're a Hall of Famer, because it takes 2. People always see the man like Obama and say, wow, look at him, he's doing it. But Obama didn't get there by himself. It took Michelle to back him and to hold him and hold down that strong brother to get to where he goes and to get to where he got. But I love when people recognize the support that allowed them to get to where they're going in life and to where they're getting in life. People support us all day, our friends, our family, and those are the people that we need to recognize. It made me stop for a moment to want to recognize the people around me that are wonderful to me, your children, your friends. Those are the people that support us and help us to get and help us to get through, so that we can push through and to become Hall of Famers like Allen Iverson. But it was a beautiful credit to his wife. I love black love. Allen Iverson, you did a beautiful speech. You gave a beautiful speech. I thank you. You recognize your wife and kids, and I want to give you big ups. Big ups to big ups, big ups, big ups, big ups to Allen Iverson for his speech. Black love matters, and you know what? He wants another 2 decades with her, so I hope they have that. I look forward to seeing that. The Disrespectful Lady. Let's talk about politics. Let's talk about you, baby. Let's talk about all the good things. Let's talk about politics. All right, this week of politics, the Disrespectful Lady wants to talk about how disrespectful Donald Trump is again. This man keeps getting caught in so many lies, it's ridiculous. The latest lie was that he lied about his 9/11 contribution. He got money for one of his buildings, 40 Wall Street, and he should have never really got money because Wall Street and the World Trade Center was so far. But him and companies like Morgan Stanley all got money from the government, claiming that they needed money for repair works from what the effects of 9/11 on them and their buildings. And you know what? It was really meant for small businesses in the area, but all these huge companies gained. But that wasn't the issue. The issue was Donald's now turning around and trying to use the situation and say that, oh, he housed people, he took stuff in for people. And 40 Wall Street and the World Trade Center, the distance, we all know, people have proven it's a lie. Donald Trump is just about Donald Trump. He's just about getting elected for one cause, and you know what? We need to be afraid. Hillary fainted this week. We all heard she had pneumonia. Good God, she's still a better candidate. You know, it's a tough situation, I know, but I keep saying it. It's the lesser of the 2 evils. We gotta go out there and vote, people. You gotta make a difference. This election is serious. This election is everything. You got Hillary Clinton and you got you a liar. And he's always, if you've noticed, he never has anything to say about what he's really gonna do for America, because he got no plans for America. He got plans for Donald Trump, but he got no plans for America. Please get up, get out, and go vote. It's vote or die. I report the news. I know that a lot of us are not for her, but come on now. This dude is lying about 9/11. You're lying about helping people when you didn't help people in a serious situation. You don't care about people. All you want to do is get elected. Yo, let's get up, get out, and vote. Let's go out and vote for Hillary, the Disrespectful Lady. Mwah. Thank you for sharing with me. I want you to continue to share with me. I want you guys to please share with your friends. Subscribe to the page. Check me out. Follow me on Instagram. I want to pose a question before I come out this week. All right? The question is, this is all in in trying to enlighten the white privilege world that we live in, because it's so real that so many of us don't realize it. This is another example of what Frank Somerville was speaking about when he himself experienced bias. When you see a bunch of young black boys crossing the coming towards you in the street, do you cross the street? If they're walking towards you on the same side of the street, a pack of young black boys, what do you do? Do you cross the street or do you walk towards them? That's the question I want to know. Because we live in a white privileged world. Most of us see a bunch of white boys coming towards them, they're okay with it. But if it's a bunch of black boys, So my question to you is, what do you do? The disrespectful lady. Okay. So this is your moment with Dr. J. And I want to share something with you. Chivalry is dead. You know, it's dead, you know, and it's so sad that it's dead, but it's dead. And you know what, let me just say this, not all brothers. There really are some amazing people, young men out there, older men out there that still have that in them, and it's so nice when you see it. And because it's so rare that when we do see it, we gush and we're gaga goo goo. You know, the other day I parked my car and I proceeded to take bags out the car, and there were two young men sitting on a stoop in the neighbor's house, just sitting for a party. They watched me as I struggled to bring in about 5 bags. Now, one time did either one of them say, "Oh ma'am, could we help you?" or even acknowledge that here's a woman, you know, struggling and maybe I should assist her. In this life, we all have mothers, sisters, cousins, nieces, aunties, grandparents, and you don't have to be crippled or disabled to offer your help. When you see a woman in need, you know, as a man, you should offer, because that could be your mother, your sister, your wife, you know, your daughter, that someone else may be able to help. I want to bring back chivalry. I like when the door was being held for me. I like being helped with my bags, and I want you guys to bring back chivalry. So here's another question for the week. Call in. How do you feel? Do you women feel that chivalry is dead, or do you feel that it's still going on? Let me call a number 1. Yes. Do you feel that chivalry is dead?
It's true. Remember, I'm black and blue, and the folks, what the hell is that?
No, see what I'm talking about? See what I'm talking about? Caller number 2. That was so sweet. See, that's what I'm talking about. All right, thank you for calling in. See, there are some brothers, and there are some young men out there. I know you guys really practice it, and I think it's beautiful. Continue. Those of you that have chivalry, please continue. I want to encourage you because it's so beautiful. As a woman, we love that. It makes us feel so good, and I really do love it. I want to just say again, it's important that when you see a woman struggling, to give her some assistance, whether she's in need of help with groceries or her life, whatever it may be. You, as a man, step in and offer your suggestions and your help. Caller number 1 was like, yo, the last time a brother tried to step in, almost got hurt. I understand. We're all scared for our lives. It's like this situation, this life that this world that we're living in has been designed to, you know, put fear in us. But, you know, when you see a sister, when you see a woman, offer her some assistance. And you know what? Let's acknowledge each other. How about saying good afternoon and good morning and good evening? You know, like, what happened to those days, you know, when we used to acknowledge each other? We are all beautiful. You know, there's nothing wrong with seeing somebody and saying good morning. Have a nice day, you know? What happened to those? Is it just me? Or what really go on? What go on with chivalry, you know? What really go on?